We have the new moon in Taurus coming up tomorrow, I believe, the 27th. Doesn't matter. It's whenever you see this. The message, know your worth. People aren't going to see your worth unless you see it. And what this new moon is telling you is that it's time for you to see how worthy you are of abundance, happiness, love. It's time for you to see your value. It's time for you to keep your heart open. Some of you are a little closed off. I understand that. Probably better than anyone. But you know what? Open your heart. Open your heart to the infinite possibilities of the universe that you can't see. God, however you believe, right? I say the universe, we all know this. We're just going to go with it. I don't need to keep reiterating that. But it's time for you to open up your heart and realize that you're worthy of everything that you want. Show people who you really are. Shine for other people. Glow is what I'm getting. Just glow. Glow for the world to see. Who cares what they think? Just glow. Shine. Be happy. Be quirky. Be beautiful. Be goofy. Don't be afraid of being who you are. One small step. One little tiny step. You don't have to climb the mountain in a day. You don't have to climb the mountain in a year. One tiny step. Every day gets a little easier. And take the time to heal. It's easy to sit back and kind of suppress those feelings. It's easy to sit back and go, I don't have time for that right now. I'll be honest with you. Even on your busiest days, 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. To feel those feelings and work through them and let them out. So they're not holding you back. That's all it takes. And some people will argue with me on that. We all have different opinions. But I'm speaking from my own experience. When I first started healing, when I first started acknowledging what was going on in my life and how I was going to deal with it and working through my fears, there was a lot. I spent so much time in isolation and writing, and I mean, there was probably months of it. But once I started realizing that, that wasn't good for me either, right? And I started making sure that I gave myself, and I still do it, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, to acknowledge how I feel, good or bad, acknowledge the memory that pops up, thank it for coming, understand why it's there, and release it into the universe where it belongs. The past doesn't serve you anymore. You don't live there. You don't need to dwell on it. Dwelling on it isn't going to fix what happened in the past. But it will stop you from moving forward in the future. It's a good thing you guys love me. But it will. It'll stop you. It will stop you. It will stop your movement and your progression into the future if you keep trying to live in the past. I watched a video, and this woman had said, and it was this question of, turn to your ex for help or turn to a stranger. And she very calmly said, a stranger. And the reason she said the stranger was because of the fact that in her book, she doesn't go backwards. She looks at it like a book. She's rewriting another chapter. She already knows what was in a previous chapter. She doesn't need to go back to that. She already knows how that part of it ends, right? She already knows about that part of the story. She wants a new story. So it's something to keep in mind, okay? You're here. Your book is half open. Do you want to turn the pages backwards? Or do you want to move them forwards and rewrite that story? Or see what's out there in that new part of the story. I can guarantee you, a lot of you, you're going to want to see what's coming next. And you need to see the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Get excited for the bigger picture. Embrace the change. Stop worrying about what others think. You're not going to please everyone. Not everyone is going to have your same beliefs. Not everyone's going to understand the way that your mind may think. Believe me, my own son doesn't completely understand the way that my mind thinks, okay? And it's kind of quirky and special in its own way. But here's the thing. There are people out there that are going to understand your thought process just as well as you do. Quirks and all. In that book, those previous chapters, some people didn't understand it. So that new book, those new chapters that are coming out, bet you somebody in there does. Be open to it. Be open to meeting new people, exploring new places. Be open to something different, unexpected and new. You don't need the old. And truthfully, for some of you, you don't even want the old. You want the familiarity. I couldn't say that word even if I didn't have the concussion, okay? But that's what you want. The old was familiar. Now it's time for something a little bit different.